Greetings from YouTubeville. Doing a late night chat and a little bit laughter. You got to have some laughter in this world, man. We live in a very uh, serious society, and you got to make some jokes once in a while. If you like, sub and subscribe. It don't cost a dime. I apologize. It's late, but the beard, it's still sharp, and it's still the best beard on YouTube. I have to say the truth. You know what I'm trying to say? There is a certain Dallas content creator. We're only going to go by initials. By name of JC. Never played football in his life. Nice guy. Very nice guy. I used to watch a lot of his videos until I realized he's like the worst person ever evaluating talent in the draft. So with all my great, all my great things I got hanging up here, all my graphics, all my, stuff I got hanging up here. Throughout the years, I seen this Dallas content creator talk about Jalen Reagor as the next Randy Moss top first round pick. Talked about Jalen Reagor like he was listen, if I mention somebody in passing, I'm mentioning them in passing. If I give you a top 10, it's my top 10. But every video this dude had, he was mentioning Jalen Reagor. Does anyone else out there even remember this guy? This dude was horrible. I don't even think he's in the NFL anymore, and he got drafted like 3 years. But this guy had to say his name a million times. Then, and he's pumping these dudes as first round draft picks. Then, 2 years ago, he was like, oh, Dallas should draft Sky Moore. Our problems are over. We're going to the Super Bowl. He had to say this about over 100 times. Real quick, Jalen Reagor, I believe he went to the Ravens and disappeared, or Philadelphia, but he sucked really, really bad. I'm pretty sure he's out of the league in like 3 years. So then Sky Moore was the new target of him. Never played the game, but played flag football. So I guess that counts as looking at talent in people. Every video he put out, Sky Moore. Dallas has to draft Sky Moore. So this past season, there was a good wide receiver out there from Western Kentucky. His name was Malachi Corley. He got a lot of comps to Deebo Samuels. I watched him play college football games. Watched a few of his games. He was okay. This content creator started talking about Malachi Corley like he was the end all to solve everyone's problems. And at that point, I did not even put him, I just took him completely off my rankings. Completely. I didn't even put him out there because I just knew right off the bat he was going to be a bust. Because this one Dallas content creator is the kiss of, like I said, if I was, and I said I did a video then, if I was Malachi Corley's agent, I would have called you up and gave you a cease and desist order to stop talking about my client because you are the kiss of death to wide receivers' careers in the NFL. So I just went out to the 99-cent store, had a nice fun, even though nothing at the 99-cent store was 99 cents anymore. And I bought the JC Star of Death because he is the kiss of death to any wide receiver prospect he talks about. He is probably the worst draft content creator I've ever seen in my life. He talked one year about a safety from Appalachian State like he was the next Darren Woodson, like he was, you know what I'm trying to say, the next Troy Polamalu, Ronnie Lott. I give you watch lists, you know what I'm trying to say? But when you're talking about a guy and you're pumping him, I mean, every day, 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 and they do nothing, bro. Like, you, how about pick a new topic, pick a new sport, go into a new line of work, you know, because you're horrible. You're horrible. Horrible. Salute everyone. Thank you, everyone in the chat. What's up, Shaq? I know it's a late night, but I just had a burst of energy because. So real quick, this Dallas content creator talked about Malachi Corley nonstop. The Jets took him in the 3rd round. He's like number 7 on the Jets depth chart at wide receiver. If he wasn't a 3rd round pick, he'd probably be cut. So once yes, Shaq. I'm talking about how one content creator was calling Malachi Corley the next Deebo Samuel. Absolutely, Shaq. And when that happened, I took Malachi Corley completely. I completely stopped looking at him. I completely took him out of my rankings. I completely took him out of and even my mock drafts. And that's when I came out with this. And I'm sorry, man. You gotta laugh, man. You gotta laugh. Because like when you're that bad, and I hung that there. And he's the kiss of death to any prospect, any draft prospect. And if I was somebody's agent and you talked about my client, you'd be getting a cease and desist order. But like I said, it's different from talking about some guy in passing, ranking a guy versus just boom. He's the next Randy Moss. He's the next Deebo Samuel. Sky Moore was gonna, light up the season for Kansas City Chiefs. The kid has like 3 catches. The kid has like 3 catches and 1 touchdown in like 2 years. Jalen Reagor, gone. You know what I'm trying to say? It's good. From Colorado and Cordell Patterson. Great yak, no route running. Yeah, you're right, man. You're right, Shaq. I thank you for being in the chat this late at night, man. But I just, after watching this Jet game and, seeing your 3rd round wide receiver not even make the field, and the Jets having Howard Lazard out there, Randall Cobb, all these retreads from Green Bay that were good with Aaron Rodgers. It just shows you how this flag football content creator has no idea what he's talking about. But listen, you're successful. Maybe go sell cars, man. I mean, I don't know. There's a million things to do. You can sell Tupperware, like in what was that movie? Napoleon Dynamite, and you get a free ship with it. But I legit never seen anybody that was a worse draft evaluator in my life, and yet the dude has subs, and it's crazy. That just shows you, like, and he's a nice guy. He is. He's a he's a nice guy, But when I saw that, I'm like, I can succeed at this. I can succeed at being a draft guy. I've been a draft guy my whole life. But seeing people like that inspired me. Plus, other YouTubers inspired me to start a channel because they told me to. And even people in chats, when I would call up other channels, even people in the chats would be like, "Yo, I like this kid's voice. I can listen to this kid talk for hours." And if I procrastinated for a while, and then I just said screw it, and I like boom, I started it. And it was tough at first, not that great at computers, getting everything, the mic, I'm trying to say, the camera, getting everything going. Took me a little while, but seeing that, I just had to do it. So I apologize for this late night chat. Thank you, Shaq, for jumping into the chat. It's just comical. But if anybody has questions when they see that, that's a certain Dallas content creator who was like I don't know, like a flag football kind of guy. And it's crazy how many other content creators we have that have big followings that never even played the game. Do you ever hear me talking basketball? No, I don't know. I know the Harlem Globetrotters. I know the Bulls were really good back in the day, and I used to like UNLV. This is how old I am. I'm really old, man. My era was UNLV, man. I mean, my UNLV, that was my era. My era was the Lakers and the Celtics and the Pistons. That was my era of basketball when I was a kid. But then I just grew out of it. Baseball, I never was in it. So, and I just made this channel different. And I was like, I'm a Dallas fan. I always will be I bleed blue and silver. But, and guys would laugh at me when I would call their channels and I'd be talking draft like in October, throwing guys' names out. But that's what I do. I'm a college football fanatic and a draft fanatic. It's what I've been doing my whole life. But I just had to throw that out there tonight, do a quick video late, and I apologize because it's late. But people work all different schedules. So it's late here, it's early somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Shaq, I've dropped already 250 players in a preseason watch list for this fall. So I dropped 250 players already. I started in May. And during the season, you'll get your weekly risers, you'll get your weekly droppers, and also collegiate teams. And then when we get to like January, February, March, you'll have all my stuff out by April the 1st, and we'll probably at that point be up to 500 players. We'll be up to 500 players. Yeah, Shaq, I did all videos. I had to do a couple of videos. I had to do like 15 videos a second time because there was a glitch in the matrix and like 15 videos got deleted. It was just a mistake on my part. So I did part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Every single position. Every single position. Some positions I put out 30 players. So there was like in the last couple of days, I put out like about 12 more videos just because they got deleted. But I've put out 250 players for a preseason watch list. And it's amazing how the players that I put out, and we're only in week 2 of college football, how I've seen them blow, how they're blowing up, they're going crazy. I got laughed at saying this is Miami's year. Miami got sick recruits, and Miss Mario Cristobal got them on. They got them on. He got them on the path this year, and I think the only thing else is standing next to them is Clemson. I think Miami's going to take the ACC. You know what I'm trying to say? But I did 250 already, and it'll probably be at least another 200 to 250 before I give you my final rankings in April. And each final ranking will have between 20 and 30 players. USC, you're a USC fan, man. No, they have an offensive lineman I did a video on. He's a center. He's playing center now. Real quick. Let me just, these are all my books. He's played left tackle, left guard, and center, this kid. And they got him at center. And let me tell you something. When you can play 3 different positions along the offensive line, you're getting drafted. I just dropped so many people. It's just hard to remember every single one of them off the top of your head. But hold on. USC. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Center. Not him. Hold on. I did a video on him. It's just tough to throw out 250 when I'm on to more players right now. I mean, give me 1 second and I will find him. It's pissing me off that I can't find this kid, and I did a video on him. One second, Shaq. Give me 1 second. As you see, I'm going through crazy. A lot of. Worst case, I'll just grab my phone out real quick. All right, hold on a second. Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I apologize. I truly do. Exactly. Jonah Monahan. And I did a video on him. He's in there. He's playing center now for USC. But he's played tackle and he's played guard for USC. I think he's going to be tested a little bit more this year because he is in USC is in the Big Ten now, and it's a more, in my opinion, just a more physical league, and he's going to be playing up against a lot of big, more physical run stuffers. Where in the Pac-10, Pac-12, where he was, that was a passing division. But when I did a video on him, I'm like, listen, when you're a college player and you can do plenty of things, you're gonna get drafted. And he has great size, the kid. The kid is like 6'5", over he's 6'5", over 300 pounds off the top of my head. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, he's a big kid, just off the top of my head. Yeah, 6'5", 310. He has great size and 6'5", and I could do that off the top of my head. But it pissed me off. I did a video, but like I said, I had all my, but he's in all my books for my breakdowns. 6'5", 310. He's played left tackle, he's played guard, and he's played center. I like my centers big. I like my centers 6'5", 310 pounds. A lot of other people don't. I do. I like my big nasties up front. But when you can play three positions, an offensive line coach is going to see that kid and he's going to fall in love with him, because a team might take him and be like, oh, we're going to put him at center this year. And then bang, they have a few injuries at guard. Boom, they'll slide him over to guard. Or they have an injury at tackle. Bang, they'll slide him over to tackle. So when you can do multiple things, it just increases your chances you're gonna get drafted. You will. Worst case, you'll be an undrafted free agent, and you're gonna make it. You're going to a practice squad. When you can do all that stuff, you're going it. But he impressed me. The kid, he stood out to me, and he was in one of my earlier videos just because he was so versatile. Because you will see guys, and perfect example is Cooper Beebe. He played left tackle, left guard, right tackle, but he never played center in college. Now he's playing center for Dallas, and he's looking like, you know what I'm trying to say. He played great yesterday. Beebe was my number 2 ranked guard, and Guyton was my number 4 ranked offensive tackle. All my rankings were out in April of this past draft. So, but that kid from USC, he's gonna get drafted just because he's so versatile. But I dropped 250 players already, and we're gonna be at probably 200 to 250 more. Even though 500 guys are not going to get drafted, you still got Canadian League, you still got the US. I mean, I don't know what it is, USFL, XFL, Flag Football League. Maybe that's for that guy. Oh, that guy. But you know what I'm saying? But I also think the NFL should go to something back like they used to have a European league, where it's like a farm team where you send your younger guys to you can evaluate them more and they can progress, because so many guys get slipped through the cracks sometimes. And then they just, you got 15 dudes sitting on a practice squad. But I think the NFL should go back to something with like that, where teams send their players, send like 5 dudes, 10 dudes. They're probably not going to send their whole practice squad, because they know there's guys on their practice squad that can play. But the NFL wants to bring the game more to international, all these other countries. What better way to do it than doing that? And then you have the 32 NFL teams. You got 32 NFL teams, just say hypothetically, send 10 guys each. And that's right off the bat, 320 people. And then you have a lot more to evaluate them. But that's just my opinion. But it's all about money, and it probably will come to something like that, because right now the USFL, the XFL, they combined, and now it's one league, and you maybe get like 2 or 3 guys out of there, 4 guys that are making teams. We got Turpin, we got our kicker. So, like it says, give these guys a chance, let them play more ball, and you will see more guys, more starters, more hidden gems that you can put on your team. And even in these other countries, like, bro, you look at Australia, man. Australia is loaded with Tongans, bro. These dudes, bro, they're like 6'8", man. They're 6'8", 400 pounds, and they're trim. You have all these other countries. You got all countries with, you got Island of Samoa. You got all these Samoans. The island guys, they're built different. Canada. I mean, Canada does have the CFL. The rules are different. The field's like 140 yards. They play with more people, and it's basically just a running league. But if they ever did that with the International League again, I think we would see much more. They might do it when the NFL goes to 18 games, because, in my opinion, when the NFL does go to 18 games, you're going to have to add you're going to have about 20 dudes on the practice squad at least. And I think you're going to have at least 5 to 6 guys more active on every Sunday. Cowboys Corner, what's up in the chat? What's up in the chat? Sub and subscribe every Saturday night. Cowboys Corner, talking crazy. We were doing a little video tonight on a really bad draft, guy who was initials JC, who was blowing up Malachi Corley from Western Kentucky, calling him the next Deebo Samuel, and I think he's 7th on the Jets depth chart. So I just had to throw that video out there tonight to be funny. Like I said, life is way too serious, people. We have to, you have to laugh, man. And I try to be funny on this channel. I try to throw out my one-liners. I try to be funny on every podcast I get invited to, and I'm thankful for everybody that invites me on their channels. And I try to laugh. It's just, I've always been like the king of the one-liners. And like, if I'm in a stressful situation, I'll always crack a joke just to like lighten things up. And just, my person, I know I might come off sarcastic, but my personality is a jokester. That's truly what my personality is. I watched my film on the Saints already. Yeah, the Saints put up some crazy points, man. They put up, I think, 41 or 47 points? So I'm not going to speak on that yet. I'm sure we'll speak on that Friday night and Saturday night. So, Shaq, you can also check out Friday nights is Freaky Fridays, 5th Quarter Cowboys. He has a show on Friday nights. It's a great, it's a good channel, bro. Everyone talks legit. No one's pushing Dallas. No one's pushing the organization like other podcasts do. Because legit, there's dudes on other podcasts. They can go to Dallas Stadium and drink the tap water, and they'll say, "This is the best This is the best water I've ever drank in my life. This is better than Fiji water you buy in the store for $3." It's like they just never say anything wrong about the organization or the players. I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but I'm going to say the truth. That's one thing I'm going to tell you is the truth. So, am I going to look at the Saints? No, definitely not. That's why I wanted to be different and make this a college draft channel. Tomorrow, I'm going to be dropping a couple of guys from Iowa that are rising, 2 linebackers from Iowa. I did one video back months ago on them, and I got a second video coming to a second video dropping. It'll be the same video, but we're going to be talking about a second Iowa linebacker. Another guy caught my eye crazy, which I did a video on. Iowa has a right guard. Yo, the kid's a beast. He's like 6'6", 330. And he was mauling people versus Iowa State, even though Iowa lost in like the last 3 seconds of the game with a field goal. But I got a couple of Iowa kids I'm going to talk about. Ironically, my Penn State running backs looking outrageous. Ironically, Kyle Monangai, which I've given you in May. I think in 2 games he has like 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. I gave you Gentry, the running back from Boise State, 7 touchdowns in 2 games. I gave you Ollie Gordon, Oklahoma. We can go Damian Martinez, Miami. C.J. Donaldson, West Virginia. I've given you 30 defensive tackles. And I could also do a lot of the draft too, also where, because I think this coming up draft, Dallas is going to be very deep. Not deep. Dallas's big needs are going to be edge, defensive tackle, and running back is going to be 3 giant needs for Dallas. And also probably safety and a corner. Luckily, as of now, we have 10 draft picks. I hope we don't do, anything crazy about, I'm trying to say, like trading any. But I can see Jerry doing something stupid and trading for a running back. As long as we don't overpay for him by the trade deadline, and there's a running back sitting right out there right now. The Jets won't put him on the practice squad because he'll get snapped up in 3 seconds. And last year, he was one of my top running backs. You can check him in college, Izzy Akabanda from Penn State. I think he had 1 game. I think it was Virginia Tech or Louisville. He had like 300. He had like over 300 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's not the biggest running back. This kid has jets. He can fly. If I was Dallas, the Jets will not put him on the practice squad. He won't be on. He'll get poached in an hour. If I was Dallas, he was a Jet 5th-round draft pick. If I was Dallas, I would be sent. We wasted a 4 on Trey Lance. I'm not saying I would give a 4. I would offer the Jets a 5th for him. And if worst case scenario, right now I would keep it a 4th. Excuse me. I would offer the Jets a 5th, a conditional 5th, to see what he does on Dallas. And like I said, but I think Dallas's biggest needs is going to be edge, defensive tackle, running backs, and we're going to need 2 running backs. We're going to need a hammer, and we're going to need a speedster. And then hopefully we could pick somebody up as an undrafted free agent, which it seems everybody else does, but we can't. So I appreciate Shaq, and I appreciate Cowboys Corner. Iowa running back is also good. Bro, Iowa is very conservative, but they got a new coach this year. And the Iowa running back on Saturday, he had like 130 yards and a touchdown. And Iowa has a crazy defense, but now that they got a new coach and they're opening up the offense, even though they lost, they could be a sneaky team this year. They're always a sneaky 10-2 team. Iowa, I did a video on an Iowa defensive tackle, Yari Black. I did a video on one of Iowa's safeties. I did a video on one of their linebackers. I'm going to be doing another one tomorrow on a second linebacker that he stood out to me. Like, bro, the kid had like 14 tackles on Saturday versus Iowa State. So tomorrow is going to be risers. Thursday is going to be teams and players that are on the downside. And I'm just going to throw it out there real quick. There was so many dudes that were so hyped on Drew Aller, Penn State quarterback. He has prototypical size, 6'5", 240. He has no deep ball. And I've said that. I've said that. Penn State's best receiver this year is their tight end, Tyler Warren, who's in my top 5 tight end list, which I gave back in May. This past Saturday, he had like 140 yards receiving and a touchdown. Penn State's last year, their best deep wide receiver, Keandre Lambert Smith, he transferred to Auburn because Drew Aller has his deep ball is horrendous. But yet there's so many draft guys out there that just see the size and like they fall in love with him. Yet, could I be wrong? But is his deep ball gonna get that much better in the next 8 to 9 games? I just don't see it. Penn State is one name to watch. Actually, check it out. I gave a Penn State safety, and he came out ranked the other day for the highest run grader as a safety in the Big Ten so far. And I dropped him out of one of my 250 players. But the name to watch on Penn State is Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter is Micah Parsons 2.0. 7 sacks as a true freshman out of Philadelphia at linebacker. Then as a true sophomore, he had 5 sacks, plays with his hair on fire, had no clue what he was doing, a straight machine, Abdul Carter. This year, Penn State has a new defensive coordinator and a new offensive coordinator. So he said, listen, just put me at edge. And he probably won that game single-handedly for Penn State this past Saturday against Bowling Green, because this kid is a bigger version of Micah, and this kid's fly. This kid's going to run a fourth. This kid is going to run a sub 4.40. He's going to when he goes to the combine, he's going to run a 4.3. He might not be everyone's cup of tea at edge because a lot of teams like big dudes, but he's my in my top 3 edges. Remember that name, Abdul Carter. He's a monster. Listen, man, I apologize for keeping you guys up late. And but was you saying who gonna be better than Abdul Carter or your boy from last year? Who's my guy from last year? I'm trying to think. Last year was Chop Robinson from Penn State. Chop. This was my opinion on Chop, and this was my draft breakdown on Chop. Chop was a liability against the run. So Chop still went in the first round, but I viewed Chop at this point in his career strictly as a third down pass rusher. We're only 2 games into the season yet, so we don't know what he's gonna turn out to be. But from what I saw in college, I didn't view Chop Robinson as a 3-down edge in the NFL. And listen, there's nothing wrong with being a third down pass rushing specialist. Plenty of dudes have made 10, 12 years, 15-year careers out of that. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I just viewed him as a third down pass rusher. I haven't really watched him this so far in the NFL this year. It's just because I'm college. I'm college 24/7, and I watch Dallas. And then if I see I'll watch a Sunday night game and I'll watch a Monday night game, and then I'll look at guys like tonight. I was watching Olu Fashanu most of the night. Penn State's right tackle with 8-inch hands, who's a horrible run blocker, and the Jets had him at right tackle last night, and he's still a horrible run blocker. But that was my opinion on Olu Fashanu, yet I said that about him before the draft. There's something wrong with him. He can't run block. And then it came out, he has 8-inch hands. I have bigger hands than 8-inch hands. And Olu Fashanu went from a top 3 pick. He dropped like a lead balloon, and he went like 21. the Jets traded back, and he went like 21 to the Jets, and now he's at right tackle for the Jets. But he has all the tools, but he's very young, and having those small hands is going to hurt him run blocking when he has to put his mitts on somebody. So listen, man, I apologize to have you guys in the chat this late, and I'm glad you on. Glad you in here, Shaq. Glad you in here, Cowboys Corner. Tomorrow I'll be dropping another video for my risers, and everybody, everybody support each other. Join their channels. We all learn. We all can learn from some. We all can learn from each other, and everyone's different views. We all bring something different to the table. And when it all comes together, it all looks good. We all know I'm a big wrestling fan too. I got my I don't want to put my one of my surprises out yet, but I got one of my big Papa Pump things coming out. I'm a big NWO guy, and that's why I'm the GWO. Because we all know when you're rocking with the GWO, the Guru World Order, it's for life. Thank you, everybody, for being in the chat. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.